Hello, my name is Lauren Lee. I'm the Director of Developer Relations at Midnight Foundation. Before we begin, think to yourself, have you ever worried about exposing private data on chain while building something on the blockchain? If you have, you're in luck, because that is the exact problem that Midnight was built to solve, and it's exactly what today's talk is about. Here's the question that keeps me up at night. Why must we choose between transparency and privacy in Web3? Think about it. Traditional blockchains force an impossible choice. Either make everything public and lose privacy, or make everything private and lose observability and open coordination. Private chains such as Zcash have proven that it is possible to verify transactions cryptographically while keeping them hidden. But that model sacrifices the shared visibility and coordination that many enterprises, regulators, and multi party applications require. But this isn't just a Web3 issue. It starts with how our digital systems are designed today. When we move to public blockchains, the problem doesn't go away, it just shifts. Instead of one company holding their data, now everyone can correlate it. Medical records should be private but verifiable. Financial data needs compliance with confidentiality. Supply chains require proof but must protect their competitive advantage. What if I told you that there's a third option? What if you could have both transparency and privacy? Well, that's what we're here to talk about today. Blockchains were designed for radical transparency. Every transaction, address, interaction is visible to everyone forever. That's powerful for trust, but it's also a deal breaker for many real world applications. Finance, counterparties, and trading strategies are sensitive. Identity, age, residency, KYC data are personal and regulated. Supply chains, pricing, and partner relationships are confidential. Developers end up stuck in a false choice: transparent but exposed or private but opaque. That's why so many promising projects never make it past prototype. This is exactly why we built Midnight, to free developers from that choice. At the heart of this is trust. Trust is the foundation of every financial system, every healthcare record, every supply chain. When trust is broken, adoption fails. Blockchain was meant to answer that trust gap, a shared ledger where anyone could verify transactions without relying on a single authority. And yet, in practice, we've seen cracks appear, cracks big enough to undermine confidence. In 2024 alone, over $2.2 billion were lost to hacks. 2.2 billion. And 83% of enterprises still stay away from blockchain because of privacy concerns. The very technology that was supposed to build trust is ironically failing to win it. But here's what really gets me. It's not just the money. We're watching major initiatives fail left and right. IBM TradeLens, which was supposed to revolutionize shipping, Marco Polo in trade finance, Contour in supply chain. These weren't technical failures. The code worked. The infrastructure was solid. They failed because they couldn't solve the fundamental privacy paradox. Every week we see the same pattern. A company wants to use blockchain for transparency and trust, but then they realize they can't put their actual business data on a public ledger. Their competitors would see everything, every contract, every transaction. Their customers would lose confidence because nobody wants their personal or financial data exposed forever. And regulators would step in because publishing sensitive regulated information on a public immutable ledger often violates compliance and data protection laws. So what do? They build these complex centralized systems that defeat the entire purpose of using blockchain in the first place. We need a better way, a way where developers can build with programmable privacy, revealing only what's necessary when necessary. This is where Midnight comes in. Midnight lets you build decentralized applications where transparency and privacy finally work together, using selective disclosure, zero knowledge, and dev first tooling. That's my one sentence definition, but let's unpack what that means. Our mission is simple but revolutionary: to bring rational privacy to blockchain. So, what do we mean by that? Rational privacy is privacy with utility, not privacy for its own sake, but privacy with purpose. Think of it as a philosophical and technical approach to data protection with an aim to strike a balance between complete anonymity and full transparency. This provides audibility without exposure. You can share information with your accountants while reducing liability by minimizing the amount of sensitive data your company holds. And here's the important contrast: it's not about hiding everything or exposing everything. Traditional systems force that binary choice. Midnight takes a different path. It empowers programmable privacy. You control exactly what to reveal to whom and when. Our vision is that utility should never come at the expense of privacy and ownership. You shouldn't have to choose between building something useful and protecting sensitive data. Let me make that practical. Imagine you're applying for a job. With Midnight, you can prove your age without revealing your date of birth. You can demonstrate your qualifications without exposing your entire work history. You can prove your prior employment and provide a verifiable resume. In finance, you can prove you have enough collateral for a loan to buy a house without exposing your full account balance or trading positions. You can verify your salary without showing your bank statement. In healthcare, you can qualify for a medical trial without sharing your full DNA profile. That is the power of programmable privacy, proving just what's necessary and nothing more, enabling freedom of choice. And this isn't theoretical. This is already working today. So that's the promise: programmable privacy. But as developers, you're probably wondering, okay, Lauren, how does this actually work? What does this look like in practice? How does Midnight allow me to prove facts without exposing the underlying data? Okay, so let's walk through it. This is where the actual architecture comes in. Midnight represents the next evolution in blockchain architecture, a fourth generation blockchain. The first generation was digital currency, pioneered by Bitcoin. The second generation was smart contracts, led by Ethereum and its ecosystem. The third generation was proof of stake and sustainability, advanced by Cardano and others. And now the fourth generation is programmable privacy, with Midnight at the forefront. Another core innovation is Midnight's dual component tokenomics system. It separates the equity and governance held in Night, the native token, from the system utility provided by Dust, the network resource used for transaction fees. Dust is a shielded resource that is generated from Night. Think of it this way: Night is like a solar panel continually generating energy. Dust is like a rechargeable battery that stores and delivers that energy to power your transactions. That's how Midnight provides predictable costs and programmable privacy, a renewable system where the token continually generates the resource you need. Night continually generates dust, giving developers the ability to utilize the system without cannibalizing their assets. Dust is shielded, so your usage doesn't leak metadata. On top of that, every smart contract on Midnight has both a public state that is transparent and a private state that is kept locally on your device. Here's the magic: zero knowledge proofs connect these two states. You can prove things about your private data without revealing the data itself. These proofs are lightweight and efficient, small enough to verify quickly, but cryptographically unbreakable. Your private data never leaves your device, but everyone you allow can verify that your claims are true. Now, a quick clarification, because this comes up a lot. Zero knowledge proofs aren't only about privacy. You may have heard of ZK rollups. That's using ZK for scalability, batching transactions to make blockchains faster and cheaper. Midnight is different. We use zero knowledge for what it was designed for, not to scale, but to protect. Our focus is privacy. Traditional systems are binary. Either everyone sees everything or no one sees anything. Midnight introduces selective disclosure, programmable, contextual, compliant privacy. The simplest way to think about a zero knowledge proof is this: It lets you prove something is true without revealing the information behind it. Okay, let's talk about privacy in the real world because every product has a story. Milk, for example, where it was bottled, when it expires, and so on. In most systems, if you wanted to verify a product's freshness, you'd have to expose its unique identifier, the barcode, the lot number, to a centralized database. This creates a data trail that can link you, the consumer, to every single item you've ever purchased. This code is a zero knowledge circuit that verifies if a product has expired. The user's DApp uses a private timestamp of when the product was bottled and a known public max age from the contract to perform a calculation right on the device. The raw data, not even the bottling time, never touches the public blockchain. The circuit then checks if the current time has passed the product's expiry and captures the outcome. A simple yes, the product has expired, or no, it is still good, and a zero knowledge proof. The proof is what gets sent to the network, not the data behind it. The beauty of this is that the network can validate the proof, confirming the product's freshness without having any idea what the product is. The retailer system gets a real time on chain validated, it's expired, or it's safe to sell answer without retaining any private data about the product's origin or the user. That's the difference. With Midnight's rational privacy approach, a DApp can prove the truth of the statement without exposing the raw data behind it. And this is a fundamental flaw in traditional digital systems. Total disclosure for a single check. Your privacy is gone. But with Midnight, rational privacy allows you to only disclose exactly what's necessary and nothing more. Now, let's take this a step further. What about something like a event ticket, a travel pass, or a digital voucher? In the physical world, these are anonymous, but they're easy to counterfeit. In the digital world, they're secure, but they create a permanent, traceable record of your every move, linking your identity to every event you attend. Again, this is a forced trade off between security and privacy. And again, Midnight offers a better way. This contract creates a system for a single use, time limited, and completely anonymous digital tickets. But it's too much code for one slide, so let's break down how it works. First, we set up the public ledger. It contains three key pieces of information: an issued tickets Merkle tree, which you can think of as a private verifiable guest list. When a ticket is issued, a cryptographic fingerprint of it is added to this tree, but the ticket itself remains hidden. A set of used nullifiers. This is like a public box of used ticket stubs, and a max age, which is the ticket's lifespan. When you want to use your ticket, your DApp provides three pieces of private data that only you possess: the path to your ticket in the Merkle tree, the date it was issued, and the unique secret tied to your ticket. The redeem ticket circuit then performs a series of checks right on your device. It proves the ticket was actually issued, your DApp provides the private Merkle path, and the circuit uses it to calculate a route hash. It then checks if the route matches any of the historic routes on the public ledger. This confirms you're on the guest list without revealing your name. It checks the expiry using the same is expired circuit as our previous milk example. It prevents the ticket from being used twice. This is where the magic of the nullifier comes in. The circuit uses your ticket secret to generate a unique one-way hash, the digital ticket stub. It then checks the public use nullifier set to see if this stub has ever been seen before. Finally, all of these checks is used, is not expired, and has not been used are bundled into a single Boolean, is valid, and zero knowledge proof is generated for this entire process. The DApp then submits this proof to the network. The network validates the proof, and if it is valid, adds the ticket's nullifier to the use nullifier set, effectively consuming it so that it can be used again. The result? The venue or the retailer knows for a fact that a valid, unexpired, single-use ticket was just presented, but they have no idea which ticket it was or who it belongs to. The data trail is broken, your privacy is preserved, and the data is still perfectly secure. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is rational privacy in practice. Okay, let's move on and discuss why developers love building on Midnight. First, you already know the language. If you can write TypeScript, you can build on Midnight. There's no need to learn some esoteric smart contract language. Our domain-specific language, Compact, is based on TypeScript. Here is the is expired circuit again. This looks an awful lot like TypeScript because it basically is TypeScript with some minor differences in primitive types and a few additional reserved words. The learning curve is minimal. You might be wondering, do I need to be a ZK cryptographic expert to build on Midnight? The answer is no. If you know TypeScript, you will feel at home. We've abstracted away all of the complex math so you can just focus on logic and use cases. It's like driving a car. You don't need to understand how the engine is built to get where you're going. You just press the pedal and drive. Second, you won't be caught off guard by speculative gas spikes. Fees in Midnight are paid in dust, a renewable network resource automatically generated by holding night. This means developers don't need to buy a volatile gas token on the open market. While fees can still vary depending on block demand, the model is far more predictable. You know where your fees come from, you avoid sudden market-driven price swings, and your usage stays shielded from leaking metadata like on traditional blockchains. Third, you get developer tools, integrated editors, familiar debugging, and standard package management. Everything you'd expect from a modern developer stack. There are over 20 million TypeScript developers worldwide, and they can all build on Midnight immediately. The numbers speak for themselves. We've seen over 14,000 smart contract deploys already this year on testnet, and over 2.4 billion Night tokens have been claimed across 8 different blockchains. So, what can you actually build with this technology? Let me give you some real examples. In financial services, we're working with Webisoft to build private dark pools. Imagine being able to trade millions of dollars worth of assets without exposing your positions to competitors. You can prevent front running while still maintaining full audit trails for compliance. In healthcare, we are working with Nexifuse to build medical record systems where doctors can share test results with specialists without exposing a patient's full medical history. Healthcare compliance becomes automatic, not an afterthought. For identity and verification, you can create anonymous voting systems that verify someone's eligibility without tracking their individual vote. Perfect for DAOs, corporate governance, or even elections. In supply chain, you can track product authenticity without revealing your business relationships. Your competitors can see who your suppliers are, but customers can still verify that your products are genuine. The common thread here is that all of these applications need both transparency and data protection. Traditional blockchains force you to choose. Midnight empowers you with both. So, what makes Midnight different from everything that came before? 3 things. 1, programmable privacy. You decide what to reveal and when. 2, builder-first design. Great tooling, docs, and education to lower the barrier to entry. 3, use case alignment, solving real-world problems in identity, finance, healthcare, supply chain, AI, and beyond. So if you're excited about this technology and want to start building, here's how to get started. First, join the Midnight Academy. It's free and comprehensive. We'll take you from TypeScript to Compact, teach you about zero-knowledge proofs, and walk you through building real projects. Plus, you'll get expert mentorship throughout. Second, participate in our hackathons. We run regular competitions with substantial prizes. You'll be a part of the global community of builders with direct support from the Midnight team. Third, access our testnet. It's a live environment where you can test everything. We have full documentation, working examples, gamified learning, and an active Discord and forum community. Fourth, explore partnership opportunities. We have grant programs for promising projects, technical support for enterprise build, and go-to-market assistance. People are already building amazing things. DeFi protocols with private trading, identity systems with selective disclosure, supply chain tracking that protects competitive advantage, healthcare applications that are compliant by design. Let me give you a sense of where we're heading, because the opportunity window for early builders is right now. The developers who start building today will have the biggest impact on where this technology goes. Testnet is live. Glacier Drop is live. Go claim now. Scavenger Pool is coming. Mainnet is coming. So much is coming. It's such an exciting time to join this ecosystem. I hope it's clear now that with Midnight, the future is private, compliant, and powerful. Let me wrap up today with what we've covered. The problem: Web3 has a privacy versus transparency paradox that's blocking mainstream adoption. Enterprises won't use blockchain because they can't put sensitive data on public ledgers. Midnight's programmable privacy offers a solution to that problem with selective disclosure. You control what to reveal, to whom, and when. The technology is a fourth-generation blockchain with dual-state architecture where private data stays on your device, public data can verify your claims, all through zero-knowledge proof. Share proof, not data. The tokenomics, a renewable model where night is like the solar panel, continually generating dust, the rechargeable resource that powers your transactions. The experience, TypeScript-like development with predictable, stable costs. If you're a developer, you can start building immediately. The opportunity, build applications that are impossible with other technology. Create the future of applications with the freedom to associate, joining commerce, and support expression. And we believe this new digital paradigm must be guided by three simple freedoms: freedom of ACE, the freedom of association without restriction, the freedom of commerce without permission, the freedom of expression without censorship. So that's your call to action. Don't just build on the blockchain, build the future of the blockchain. Start your learning by joining Midnight Academy for free, comprehensive training. Participate in a hackathon. Join our community of developers. The privacy layer Web3 has been waiting for is here. Your opportunity to be part of the revolution starts now. Visit midnight.network/developers. Build the impossible. Remember, the future of Web3 is waiting for you to build it. Thank you.